gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 336 once again for episode 156 of the 815 Exchange. And well, I mean, woo, where do we even really start, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, boy, do we have a lot to talk about in combat sports. We also had Utopia, and we got the Women's World Cup going on, so we have plenty, and I mean plenty, to talk about, to quote Stephen A. Smith. Plenty to talk about in today's episode. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, feel free to look in the description for everything you could ever desire in this world, whether it's timestamps provided below or my social media links. No, I have not updated it, and I might not update it, okay? I know Twitter is supposedly X now. It updated on my phone too. It's still taking some time to get used to. I don't know how I really feel about it, to be completely honest with you. I don't. So we'll see how long it takes for me to update that. But for now, we're going to keep calling it Twitter. But let's get to the meat of the pie, because my goodness, combat sports. Oh my goodness, good lord. We're gonna go boxing first before I get to UFC 291, because I have to start off. We had the two best pound for pound boxers on the planet fought this past week. Okay, the two best. You could argue Canelo, but the two best, I'm gonna say. The number one guy after Saturday is Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, put a historical beatdown on Errol Spence Jr. I came on here last week, and really for every single time we've talked about Crawford versus Spence, I had a very legendary reign. I forget what episode it was. A very legendary rant about them not being able to get this fight together and how I was tired of the pride. And I think I said it's a 50-50 fight, so you should just do a 50-50 split. This was not a 50-50 fight in the actual fight. Not at all. Not at all. I had Spence taking 2 rounds. One of them was arguable. It was a 50-50 round. Besides that, I mean, it was levels. Bud showed Spence levels in this fight. Honestly, from the moment that Crawford walked out with Eminem beside him in the prime chain. By the way, shout out to KSI and Logan, because they are putting in work on the marketing trail. As a marketer myself, I have to respect that, because they have been on point. On point. Shout out to the marketing team. They have been on point with these sponsorships and placement. They haven't missed. Have not missed. But from the moment he came out with that prime chain, with the all black, with the webbing, with M, I should have known. We all should have known. I was like, yeah, but Bud's not losing this. And my goodness, he looked every bit the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. Becomes the first man, not the first overall. Shout out to Clarissa Shields. The first man to ever go undisputed in not 1, but 2 weight classes ever. It was ridiculous. A 9th round TKO. He beat the brakes off of it. It was so bad that people were like, man, yo, maybe we should stop this. Even before the 9th, before the ref stepped in, people were like, yo, this is kind of getting kind of snuff filmish. We might need to stop this for Spence's long-term health. It was just brutal. The speed difference. And then even from a bodywork and inside perspective, which is where, Spence, the jab, every tool that we were like, yo, Spence has this, right? He's known for this. This is what's made him so great. Crawford beat him in every element of boxing. He outboxed him. He outfought him. He outbrawled him. He was stronger. He was faster. He was better. Plain and simple than Errol Spence Jr. on Saturday night, and it was not close. It was not close. A stark difference in levels, and yeah, Bud silenced all the critics. I was never one of those people that was like, yo, Bud's never fought anybody. I think that was unfair. But, this was easily the biggest challenge for him, and it was one of the biggest welterweight title fights of all time. And he just, smoked I mean smoked. My words don't even really, these adjectives I'm using, barely put in. If you watch the fight, you know. It was a demolishing. And yeah, Bud, pound for pound king. Nobody's going to argue with that after Saturday night. And just a clinical performance. Honestly, I was calling for Boots Ennis to get next, which he still may, but like, I don't know. I don't know, and I think Boots is special. I don't know if Boots is ready for Bud. Okay? I don't know if Boots is ready for Bud. Bud just might be better than everybody else. Which brings the question of what's next. Well, during the fight, he was talking, by the way, horrific week for the Charlos, okay? From Caleb Plant, piecing up baby Charlo, to the ex and the wife of Big Charlo and Little Charlo fighting, to Bud beating the brakes off of their homeboy and then talking crazy to Baby Charlo, who's about to fight Canelo, by the way. And I don't rate him in that fight, to be completely honest. And saying basically, you're next. Yeah, it's just not a great week for the Charlos. So I could very much so see Bud going up to 154 and going for a third undisputed. Just, you know, making a GOAT case right now. Just making a GOAT case. He's the best fighter on the planet. The other man you could possibly consider the best fighter on the planet also fought this week. Naoya, the monster, Inoue. I mean, put Cool Boy Fulton on a t-shirt. Okay, the same way we're talking about Spence got, he put Cool Boy on a t-shirt. I mean, the same way I just described the beatdown Bud gave Spence. The only difference being in these two fights was, I think, you know, and everybody would say Errol was a little bit better probably if we, you know, pound for pound it over Fulton. But nonetheless, Fulton's supposed to be, by the way, Inoue going up in weight, right, to 122. Fulton's supposed to be the top dog, and he murked him. He murked him. KO'd him. Again, he's the monster. Faster, stronger, more athletic. He outboxed him. He outfought him. He out-everythinged him. It was just on a different level. It looked like a different species was fighting Cool Boy. Okay? He was the monster in full effect. At home, looked very comfortable. There was not a moment of that fight that Inoue looked uncomfortable. At all. Didn't look shook and look stirred. He looked so comfortable. He was taunting. It is almost frowned upon in Japanese boxing to like taunt and be brave. He was taunting Cool Boy. That's how comfortable. This was easy. This was easy for him. The top dog in another division up, and it was easy. Easy for him. I don't know what his limit is. I don't know if it's when he hits, you know, 130 and he really starts to fight guys that are bigger than him. But at this point, I'm just wondering when does the power and speed just stop translating? Or does it not stop translating? Which is going to be a very, very big problem for everybody in 130. And 126 needs to be terrified. Tapales, who has the other two belts, who is now next on the clip in the Monster's own worlds, because he wants Undisputed to be a two-time Undisputed champion. Yeah, good luck. Okay, that's my best is good luck. Pray. Pray to whatever deity you pray to. Because the Monster is coming, and he does not look like he is beatable currently. He looks Kryptonian. Beyond Kryptonian, because I don't know if there's a kryptonite to take him out. There's no Achilles heel yet. Hasn't been found. Maybe Tapales will find it. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. Boy, oh boy, what a week in boxing. We had the two best pound-for-pound fighters probably on God's green earth go at it and put on clinical performances. But that was not all. That was not all in the fight game this week, because we had UFC 291. And my, well. Justin Gaethje, JG himself, took on Dustin Poirier for the BMF. Now, I've said my thoughts on the BMF. Of course, as y'all know, the lineal BMF champion is Leon Edwards. So technically, he's the BMF. If we're going by BMF standards. By the way, everybody that's ever fought in a BMF title fight is 0-7 in actual title fights. So, you know, I question the credence, but it's, you know, it's a marketing, it's a promotional tool, the title is. So anyways, it was going to be a good fight regardless. Gaethje Poirier 2. Well, you know how I mentioned Leon Edwards? Well, it was that same feint high kick combo that, you know, headshot dead took out Usman and claimed him the welterweight title. That's the same thing JG used to claim the BMF title and take out Poirier. It was just on the other side. It was gorgeous. He even landed the feint, so it wasn't even really a feint. It ended up just being a jab. He landed that and then put a right kick across Poirier's temple that sent him to the shadow dimension for a good 5 seconds, and that's all you need. That's all you need. DP did get up and it looked like he was okay, but boy, oh boy, he was asleep. The boy was asleep. He was sleeping. He was tired. He went to go take a nap, and that is all it took for the human highlight reel to do another backflip off of the cage, wondering how long he's going to be able to do that for his career. But anyways, JG is the BMF. Well deserved. Well deserved. I mean, he's been a bad mother for a very, very long time. So, yeah, fitting. A fitting BMF. And kind of ironic that that lineal BMF, quote unquote, it's the same move. It's the same move that won the lineal BMF move wins the actual BMF. So, yeah. Shout out to Gaethje. He deserves next after Islam and Charles run it back in Abu Dhabi in like October. JG shouldn't fight anybody else. He's next. He's got next. I still think Islam smashes him if that happens. But, yeah, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to JG. Alex Pereira. Okay, now, Fulton and John were fighting co-main events. By the way, Wonderboy got screwed. He got screwed. I don't like the way they handled that Michael Pereira thing. He comes off 3 pounds overweight. And Wonderboy doesn't get his purse. He doesn't get paid at all. Like, that's not fair. I don't like the way they went about that. But anyways, so Alex and Jen were the co-main event anyway. But this fight was going on at the same time as Bud and Spence, so I wasn't too in tune. I was watching from we had it set up on the laptop, and then the fight was on TV, so I was catching some of it. I saw Alex getting backpacked all of the first round, and then I saw the altitude of where they were really start to kick in, and they looked gassed in the second round. But apparently Alex may or may not have done enough to get the win. I wasn't shocked that if it went to decision that he was going to get, because he's the more interesting figure. He's the bigger star than John, let's be honest. So in terms of trying to move a storyline, if it really came down to it, he was going to get it. But I've heard some say John himself said he got robbed, which of course. Some said Alex actually would have won it. So I don't know. I didn't watch enough of the fight to really give a great, opinion on it. But Alex gets the win. He's probably next up against Jiri, I guess, because once again, light heavyweight is in disarray. So nobody really knows what's going on. Because Jiri got hurt, then Hill won it, then he got hurt, so it's just vacant. And I guess now Alex versus Jiri is the fight to make. And then we'll see. So we'll see. But yeah, congrats to Alex. Derek Lewis had another all-time great. He could be a Hall of Famer just off of interest. If Cowboy Cerrone is in the Hall of Fame, well, he's in off of numbers. Fair play. But Derek Lewis, if there was an entertainment wing of the Hall of Fame for the UFC, he would be in it. Because another legendary Derek Lewis performance. His balls were hot again. First off, he started off with a Kenny Omega V-trigger right across the chin of De Lima. Puts him down, then he backpacks him, and he's just swinging and banging and swinging and banging. And of course, he knocks out De Lima in 33 seconds. So then we proceed to take off his pants, take off his shorts, Balls is hot. Then goes and gives a fantastic interview saying, did you plan that flying knee? He said, no, I was just throwing some and hoping that it would land. And then, balls was hot again. And then he said he was going to hump his wife. So, just glorious, glorious. That is a true UFC heavyweight. He is the archetype UFC heavyweight for this past era, okay? The heavyweight, let's be honest, is the meme division. It's the meme division. It is, okay? It is the jokes division, okay? And Derek Lewis is the best, okay? He is the best. He does not have the title. That is John Jones, who might be the GOAT. But in terms of entertainment value, Derek Lewis just might be the GOAT. Shout out to the Black Beast. Boy, Tony Ferguson, please retire. Please, okay, we're getting towards a BJ Penn level of I'm tired of seeing a legend ruin his record and his legacy by getting knocked out or finished or I'm beaten into a hospital bed every single fight. I'm done, okay? Dana, step in, please, okay? I don't care if Tony leaves. He cannot do this anymore. He's done. He's done. We said he was done 3 fights ago. He's done. He's washed. Tony is washed. He has no athleticism. He looks like he doesn't remember some of the moves that he used to do. He'll try to do them, but he can't finish them. He's done. He's finished. El Cacoy is dead. He's dead. Him as the Grim Reaper of the division is dead. He's not dangerous. Bobby Green, all due respect, Bobby Green, good fighter, submitted him. He's done. He's done. He's done. Okay? Bobby didn't even look that great in this. It's just Tony is done. He's finished. He's more washed than the dishes. Okay? It's over. Please send him. Somebody needs to take him out. Okay? How many times can the horse be taken out back and put down before y'all just put him in the dirt? Okay? He's done. Please. Dana. To round up the rest of the card, Kevin Holland, sub Michael Chiesa, who will now be going back to his desk job because he just doesn't have it anymore. Good win for Holland, though. Gabriel Bonifim decided to not be like his brother, and he does continue the hype train by subbing Gillies in pretty quick succession. And then Kopilov, who looks like an upgraded Chase Hooper, with another brutal head kick on this card against Ribeiro, sent him right to sleep. It was a beautiful, 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 beautiful KO. That probably would have gotten some performance of the night. They still may have given it to him, given him some 50 G's, if Gaethje didn't do what he did in the main event. But what a day Saturday was for combat, one of the combat sports weeks of the year. Y'all know we gotta let soccer main event, so baseball, MLB. Max Scherzer to the Rangers to kick us off this week. I know a lot of teams would have loved to. By the way, I know he didn't show up in big moments when the Mets needed him, but I feel like it's really, really, really unfair to act like Scherzer was bad necessarily for the Mets. He still had over 200 Ks, 306 ERA or something like that. So he was, by all intents and purposes, still Mad Max. Maybe not, best Mad Max or clutchest Mad Max, but for all intents and purposes, he was still very, very good. So I think it's a good move by the Rangers. Still early in the season, still a lot going on, so still a lot of opportunity here. So we'll see how that goes, but Scherzer to the Rangers. Shohei Ohtani had the greatest day for one baseball player ever. As we continue our weekly now Ohtani segment, which is what the MLB segment is at this point. What did Ohtani do this week? Well, they had a doubleheader on like Tuesday or Wednesday, right, against the Tigers. Game 1, he goes up one-hit shutout. One-hit shutout. In Game 2, 2 home runs. He's the best player in the universe. In the universe. I'll put him pound for pound against any of the aliens apparently they allegedly found this past week that have been declassified or, well, was revealed inside of the Supreme Court or whatever court it was. Okay? I put Ohtani. Okay? Ohtani might not even be human. Maybe Ohtani is one of the aliens he was talking about because it just does not make any sense what he is doing this year. Okay? It is one of the greatest seasons, which I feel like we said 3 years ago or 2 years ago when he won the MVP the first time. Well, he's doing it again. Okay? He's the MVP. We've known this for a month or however long. Really, it's been a while since Judge got hurt. And let's be honest, even if Judge did hit 63 this year, which maybe he would have done if he wasn't injured, I don't think it really would have mattered because Ohtani has 39 home runs and 150 Ks and an under 4 ERA, and just none of that makes any type of sense. But yes, Shohei Ohtani, still the best player on the earth, and with one of the best days in MLB history. Speaking of the man, Aaron Judge is back, and he's doing Aaron Judge things again. But unfortunately, everything is still true with the Yankees. As much as it pains me to say, we are garbage without Judge. Okay, he is the team. We suck. Which, we suck for AL East standards. We're still over 500, but we suck. Okay? Aaron Boone, don't know how he has a job. Why is Larissa? I know. I'm not going to say I like Sevi. Okay, I like Sevi. I still rate Sevi. Sevi is not back. Why in the world do you let him just get his confidence demolished? I mean, he let Sevi's confidence get beat up like Spence and Cool Boy this past week. Okay? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How do you let him give up 9 runs and then say, all right, now I'm going to pull you? No. He has a 7-something. You pull him, send him down to AAA, and tell him to get his mind straight. Because this is not going. It's not working. Sevy is not the same Sevy. And I don't know why Aaron Boone he's not the guy. He's not the guy. Aaron Judge is the guy. He's carrying this team barely. It is so horrific to be Yankees fan. On the other hand, it's a great time to be the Orioles, who beat us 9-3, by the way, off of all 9 runs in the 3 innings that Sevy pitched. So shout out to Adley and Gunnar and the rest of the Orioles, because drafting and developing is the way to go in the current MLB, and they're doing it better than anybody right now. Entertainment. Let me continue my pain of things that I love not being as good as they once were with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, I haven't been one of those people that's like, yo, Marvel's finished. Marvel sucks. Marvel don't got it no more. Things aren't hitting this, even though it's true. Things are not hitting the same as they did in the earlier phases. That's true. It is what it is, okay? It's true. Now, you can mythologize all the different reasons that could be, but it hasn't hit the same. And boy, oh boy, Secret Invasion, which for the first couple episodes, I was like, okay, we might have something here. But boy, oh boy, did it take a nosedive with a critically and publicly panned season finale, which is considered now one of the worst season finales in the history of television, apparently. You know, of all the interesting ways they could have took this kind of barely actual Secret Invasion narrative, boy, oh boy, it just went down the gutter. I don't know how you waste Samuel L. Jackson, Kingsley Ben-Sur, Amelia Clark, Olivia Colman, and so on and so forth, but boy, oh boy, did they manage to do it, Don Cheadle? How do you waste all of this talent and put them in something like this, okay? Gaethje versus Gravik, which wasn't too surprising, but them just like supercharged and having this CGI fight, which we've seen so many times. You would think maybe with Secret Invasion it's a little bit more interesting. It was a nice like turn. I was like, obviously Nick wouldn't put himself in the situation. Obviously it's probably going to be Gaia, right? Which it was. And then they just had this fight, and it was, Gaia kills Gravik. By the way, Gaia, who now is the most powerful person in the entire MCU, and it's not even really remotely close, since she has the powers of 3/4 of the heroes and 3/4 of the villains, including somehow Thanos, I think. Forget calling the Avengers, by the way, which it's the weakest Avengers cast we're going to have in a long time. Right now, I got Kang in 5, unless we call him Gaia, okay? Because Gaia, you don't need the Avengers. Hell, you don't even need the X-Men or the Fantastic Four. Just call him Gaia. She got all the powers, okay? She can solo everybody, which is going to be very, very interesting how they dance around that and make her not able to solo everybody going forward. Rhodey, of course, goes down, even though that whole kind of scenario was weird once again. But anyways, Rhodey goes down. Nick and Sonya kill him, who Olivia Colman plays. The press still holds a grudge and is now hunting down all of the Skrulls, which is kind of where the narrative's going. I would love to see if the MCU continues the storyline in the Marvels. And if they remember that Skrulls are now like public enemy #1, because that should be a really, really big deal considering the last kind of scene, which is a bunch of people in a bunker have been replaced that we do not know, which means anybody can be a Skrull, which really is a really good setup for an actual Secret Invasion movie, but we're not going to do that because you already wasted the storyline here with a not so great show. I'm done, okay? It was bad. I can't even be like, Nick and Var got their happily ever after, so. But besides that, it was not good, okay? It was not good. It paled in comparison to what I'm about to talk about next. Because there was a lot of hype, similar to Secret Invasion. There was a lot of hype about Travis Scott's Utopia. A lot. A whole lot. One of the most anticipated albums of the past couple of years. I'm not going to say ever, though, maybe. But I'll say the past couple of years. The decade. A lot of expectations. Travis, by the way, has not been on a great future run. It's not like he was coming in scorching hot as we see some artists like go into like an album and go into album mode, scorching hot, body feature after feature after feature. He hadn't done that. And the singles, honestly, the ones that came out like a year ago before, you know, the Astroworld debacle or tragedy, should I say, those were good. K-pop was straight. I give it a playlist. It was straight. Bad Bunny, let's be honest, carried. Felt more like a hit song than Trav's, but wasn't like he had any crazy singles. So the weight of the world was on Trav. It was on. Could he deliver? And boy, did Travis Scott deliver. Cactus Jack came through with one of the best albums of the year. 9.6. A 9.6. That can go maybe higher. I'm not going to give it a 10 because it was not a 10. It was a perfect. But boy, it was very, very good. It was it was excellent. Not perfect, but very, 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 very good. I'm going to give it a 9.6. It could go down a little bit more, but it's still going to stay in that mid-9s range. Maybe like a 9.4. But I'm going to go 9.6 for right now because, boy, the highs on this were high. Meltdown. Please let that go number 1. We knew there was going to be a Drake track. Listen, I've been watching reaction after reaction after reaction of people realizing that was Drake. Because I didn't even catch that it was Drake at the end of Sirens. Saying that his hotel room was Utopia. Like, I didn't even catch that at first. But, then, he came back, right? Intro to Meltdown. Oh my God. I went berserk. I've run that song back so many times. I have run Meltdown back so many times. That song was so fire. It was so fire. It was, you know, everybody's comparing like Sicko Mode, Meltdown. You know, time will tell. That's what I'll say. Time will tell. Drake went ballistic. I mean, goodness. Of course, you know, this Pharrell push. Some saying Kodak at the end with that Watson's in Paris line. You know, a lot of people are getting real sensitive about that, by the way. Which, and then a lot of people are like, yo, he's dancing around Push. Which, first off, let's call it what it is. Push is the second act in his own, like, feud. Okay? He's been the second act in this feud. He had the, like, starring role because he's the only one that's actually dissed Drake in, like, a song. And, of course, the whole exposing his child thing, right? But, let's be honest. He's never been Drake's focus in this entire. But minus Duppy, he has never been in this entire feud, he has been a second antagonist or protagonist, whichever side you're on. He has never been the main guy. Ever. It's kind of sad, honestly, at this point. But anyways, Meltdown, Trav delivered. Schizo, Love, and Telekinesis were all probably, I guess, my top-ranked tracks. Hyena, almost still there. There were a lot of great tracks. There were a lot of great songs. There was a little bit of everything. Very Yeezus, very Kanye-inspired, which I think deserves to be acknowledged. Some of these were Kanye kind of I won't say taken from Kanye, but, like, clear, like, Kanye, not reference tracks or, like, previous Kanye leaks that have been repurposed for Travis. That's the best way to put it. And kind of done into this. And it was great. It was great. It was really, really, really good. Even with the Kanye influence, even with everything. Very, 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 very good. And again, one of the best albums of the year. Travis delivered. Again, he assembled the Avengers, the Justice League, and just everybody. Everybody was on this album. I mentioned Drake. We had SZA. Hell, we had, oh my goodness, the Fly God himself, Westside Gun, Rob 49, Beyonce. Everybody was on this thing. Future. Everybody was featured, except for people on the Cactus Track label. But everybody else. I think, Sheck West was on one, right? Cardi was on this. Fiend. Fantastic. Everybody was on this album. He delivered. Utopia, 9.6. One of the best albums of the year. It was fantastic. Jealousy feat Cardi B and Offset, or Cardi B feat Offset, I believe. Or was it Offset song? Anyways, it's Offset and Cardi, okay? Really, really good. They brought in Taraji for the music video. Cardi, once again, is on a hell of a run, as she's been for a while in terms of futures. So, yeah. Shout out to Cardi, Jealousy, Fire. Post Malone dropped Austin. I did not listen to it. I actually heard it was good though. I was too busy with Utopia and everything else, but I did hear that Austin was good. So yeah, shout to Posty. I know he had a concert this past weekend. Saw some of the people that I knew were at that. I think in Raleigh. So yeah, shout out to Posty. Heard it was good. Don't know if it was. I didn't listen to it, but yeah, Utopia, and boy oh boy, Marvel was in the ditch. Women's World Cup. Group A. Let's talk. We're gonna go group by group. Okay. Switzerland. The Swiss are through after drawing with New Zealand, and Norway beat. I mean, we have seen some whoopings this past week. In this episode, we have talked about some absolute beatdowns. Okay, this was another one. The way that Norway did Philippines, and they needed to do it to ensure that they went through. But my goodness, okay, 6-0. It was not close. Sophie Roman Hogg had a hat trick. It was woof. This was without Ada. Okay, they didn't even have Ada for this, and it was not the Philippines is particularly good, but boy oh boy, the Norway put it on them. Norway put it on them, so they advanced. Norway and Switzerland, they go through. So yeah, congratulations, well done. Group B. Today, this happened this morning. Okay, Canada, the reigning, defending Olympic gold medalist. Canadian women's national team took the L of a lifetime. 4-0 for skunk in a game they had to win. They didn't even show up. Australia, once again, no Sam Kerr, missing the best player possibly on the planet, and it did not matter. Canada had nothing for them. Absolutely nothing. They had nothing, and it was not close from the jump. Haley Russo with a brace. I mean, it was a beatdown. They had with Jordan Huitema, Christine Sinclair, the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of international football, men's or women. They had nothing. Canada had nothing. It was a disturbing performance if you're a Canadian. Because, yeah, they just got skunked by Australia not even at full power. Like, whoo. So Australia, obviously, they're through. Nigeria tied Ireland, which is all they needed to do with Canada getting destroyed to get through. So Nigeria and Australia go through. Shout out to Australia. They're co-hosting with New Zealand. New Zealand didn't go through. Still had a respectable performance. But Australia, round of applause. Put it on Canada. Group C. We're not done with the beatdowns this week, ladies and gentlemen, because I talked about Spain being the biggest threat and arguably alongside us as World Cup favorites. There's been one team that I've thought of, but I have not said, and has been a historically very good national team. That is Japan. I am not holding my tongue on Japan any longer because they deserve their flowers, and I'm going to give them to them after they just humiliated Spain with one of the best counterattacking matches you will ever see. Spain had possession in classic Spain fashion, 77-23. Which, for those that do not watch soccer and are just watching for the World Cup, means that in the game, the entire game, Spain had the ball 77% of the time. They lost 4-0. Japan torched the Spanish defense. Torched them on the counterattack. I mean, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. As a fan of counterattacking football, because I play on like FIFA, I play counterattacking, which a lot of people do, because it's the nature of the game, right? So I become a fan of counterattacking football. This was counterattacking perfection. I mean, my goodness, it was gorgeous. Japan has looked like the best team in the world in the group stage. Simply put, they have been the best team in the group stage. Not even up for not even an argument. They won't be the only team that goes undefeated, but they have looked the best team, the most complete team, the most together team. Miyazawa with a brace in this game, and yeah, it was brilliant. Spain still goes through, they still advance, but Japan makes a statement, wins the group with a brilliant game plan that just completely neutralized who a lot of people thought was the biggest threat to the U.S. in terms of winning this World Cup and arguably the second favorite to win this World Cup. Japan made a statement. Towel to Zambia, by the way, who was the lowest ranked team at this World Cup, getting a win to not go without a win. They get a win over Costa Rica in this group. So, yeah, shout to them. Congrats. Group D. England took out Denmark. Of course, these are games that are going on tomorrow. Group D and Group E. Denmark took the L to England. Lauren James and Reece James, probably the best brother-sister combo in all of world football. She gets the goal, a worldie against Denmark. Huge for England. Absolutely huge. Needed. I think they got 6, so they should be good. However, it's going to be very, very interesting, right? China has to face England. China and Denmark are tied on points with, I think, 3. So, it comes down to this. England doesn't need to play their best play. They could rest people against China. China has to win. Denmark is facing Haiti. Haiti has not won a game. I think they might have 1 point if they don't have any at all. They got to win. But they're in a much favorable position. So it's going to be very interesting to see what England does because they can have a really, really, really big effect on who advances with them in this group. But, yeah, I expect China and Denmark to really go after it. And it's going to be a very thrilling finish. Now, Group E. Okay? Group E. USA. Okay. Wow. Yeah, not great. Not great. Not a great game versus the Netherlands, right? Could have put this away. Should have put this away. But we need to figure something out. By the way, I don't like Vlatko. You know, I've been told the stories. Okay, I'm starting to see the light now with Vlatko and see the problems here. Because I do not understand how we do not sub anybody in except for Rose Lavelle in that game. I do not understand that. I don't get it. Shots to Lindsey Horan, going against her teammate, going at her teammate, and then going to get the goal. True captain's effort. Trinity needs to be, and boy, oh boy, Trinity Rodman is going to be terrifying. When the technique catches up with the athleticism, woohoo, over. It's over. It's over. She needs to be more clinical. Sophia needs to be a better playmaker. Alex needs to please be Alex Morgan. The midfield needs to be more solid. Crystal Dunn needs to tighten up. It's just, it was not great. We've been okay. Passable. We've been passable. Well, we need to be better than passable. We're the U.S., okay? We're the U.S., and a lot of people calling for Lynn Williams to start or at least play, which I also agree with. The problem is, who do you drop? Who do you drop for Lynn Williams? Do you drop Trinity? Do you drop Sophia? You're not going to drop Alex, right? So I guess you have to drop Trinity, which feels kind of weird because it's like she was a Ballon d'Or finalist last year. So it's kind of like, you know, what are we doing? So, yeah, Vlatko needs to step up and be a manager. We have to be Portugal. Like, I'm not playing around with a draw. We have to beat Portugal. We could draw with Portugal probably and still advance, but I'm not playing around with that. I'm not, okay? Win. We need to win, okay? We need to win, straight up. Netherlands is playing Vietnam, and that has essentially been the cakewalk in this kind of group. So, yeah, we need to win. The U.S. needs to show up tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But not a great World Cup so far for the U.S. The Netherlands have to be thrilled, especially with the way the manager was talking crazy about the U.S., so they have to be thrilled with the way this is going. But yeah, U.S. looks very, 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 very vulnerable. Group F, very exciting. Very exciting. We had Brazil versus France, which is always so much fun. And it's still fun on the women's side. Wendy Renard, legendary defender for them, comes through with the 83rd minute header to win them the game versus Brazil. Brazil, who was riding a wave of momentum right after Ali Borges' hat-trick in the first game. Everybody was like, yo, Brazil. But then they took this L. France got a huge win. Huge 3 points. Puts them back in the game. I think they're pretty good. They're through. They face Panama. Panama's pretty much out of it. So it's really going to come down to Jamaica versus Brazil. Jamaica, who won against Panama last time out, without Bunny Shaw. Bunny Shaw's back now. All they need is a draw. They got 4. Brazil's got 3. They can live with the draw versus Brazil. Brazil has to win. Okay, so I think that's going to be one of the games of the group stage. Jamaica versus Brazil. Jamaica probably will not just sit on the morals and just kind of chill with the draw. They'll take it if it comes. But I feel like they're going to go after it and try to win this game. Brazil certainly is going to be on their best behavior trying to win this game. So I think that could potentially be one of the best games of this entire World Cup. We will see what happens, who's going on with France. Group G, Sweden and Italy. Sweden's through. Italy needs to win or draw versus South Africa, to get through. South Africa has to just simply beat Italy. But yeah, should be Sweden and Italy to get through. Sweden is already through. They got 6. Group H, Colombia is through after a Venegas header in the 97th minute to upset Germany. By the way, shout out to Conceição. Brain tumor, I think it was, at 16. And then come back here at 18 looking like arguably the best young player at the tournament. I mean, incredible performance. Shouts to Colombia, though. They were great. One of the best games, by the way. Pop had an 89th minute penalty, and then we went to the end of stoppage time to get the game winner. So, yeah, Colombia, they earned it. Germany's not out of it. They're still probably, Morocco needs to beat Germany, but Germany still has the advantage. They can live with a draw. They could go with a win. So, yeah, just got to handle business versus Morocco, and they'll be through. They'll join the Colombians. But, yeah, Women's World Cup heating up. We had some friendly stuff going on as well. El Clasico went on. Barca beat Barca 3-0'd Real Madrid. And it was not happy times for Real Madrid. Not happy times. Jude looked very lost in that brawl, by the way. It was a very unfriendly friendly. But we will see. Soccer world moves on. Mbappe, I think, gets his clause today. Or half of it. Again, we'll see if Real Madrid, after losing to Barca, they say, hey, we need to speed this up. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Women's World Cup, heating up. Hopefully I have good news from Team USA next week. But, Roundup, okay? Roundup. Racing is all of the Roundup this week. Max Verstappen, I'm actually going to say his name because he had to come from 6th, which is still nothing, okay? It still got so poor. It got so bad here in the Belgian Grand Prix that Max literally asked GP if they could do, a pit stop just to get practice in the middle of a Grand Prix. That's how comfortable he was with the lead over Checo. He was like, you know what? Nobody's a threat. I'm going to win this. Maybe we should make one more pit stop just to make it, interesting, get some, practice in. It's too easy. It's too easy. He's one win away from Vettel's record, or tying Vettel's record. Unfortunately, he will have to wait till after the summer break to do that at his home Grand Prix. Yeah, he might win all the rest of the races. Bar him, getting a DNF and his car just shutting down, I don't see anybody being Max. Not even Checo. He hunted Checo down with relative ease in this and then just put it on him. He was putting it on him in those last laps to the point where GP once again and Max were having the most thrilling conversation of this race. We're going back and forth because Max was burning through the tires and he was like, Max, let's make smarter decisions. Because Max really wanted that pit stop. Because I think he's getting bored. I mean, he's having fun with winning, but he's getting bored because there's just no comp. Absolutely no comp. Checo gets second. Charles Leclerc returns to the Max Verstappen podcast at 3rd. So, Ferrari, a better week. Unfortunately, Sainz dealt with the damage and, had to DNF. Piastri, who finished 2nd in the sprint race, which Max also won. He got, just unfortunate scenario. He loses his wing on the first lap. So after a great weekend in the build-up to that, just disaster for Piastri. And really a not great week at all for McLaren. Their car was not there the way it was the past 2 weeks. But yeah, summer break now for F1. No F1 for a little bit. And Max looks unbeatable as he has all year. NASCAR, Chris Buescher wins a big race at Richmond. A relatively entertaining week, by the way. That Road America, I tweeted this out. Road America, by the way. Shout out to Sam Mayer because he got his first win in the Xfinity Series. That was a very entertaining Road America race. That was the craziest lap I've ever seen, the second to last lap in overtime, where they just kept turning and spinning out and somebody knew it would take the lead. That was wild. Okay, one of the wildest laps I've seen in all my years of watching NASCAR. But yeah, Buescher at Richmond, he gets it done. He's in the playoffs. Huge win for RFK. They had a great weekend. Him and Brad had great cars all weekend. 23-11 were great all weekend as well, but just couldn't close it on race day. And yeah, Buescher gets it done. Dominant win, dominant victory at Richmond. He's into the playoff. And yeah, that's it for the week. Burrow got hurt. Jalen Ramsey got hurt as NFL's coming back. College football, we're getting closer to the first week of the season. So, yeah, those are the two injuries. A lot of conversations going on, but that's the only thing that really happened. Besides Jonathan Taylor asking for a trade and the running backs continuing to be screwed, which is just, I don't think it's fair. I don't rate it. I get why, because of some of the instances, but it's just not fair. It's not fair. I think if you have a star RB that's proven himself, pay him. Okay, pay him. You can win with the RB. I don't think that's a foreign concept. But anyways, that was the roundup, and that was episode 156. I hope you guys enjoyed. But without further ado, Ocho signing off.